Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy.
All right, folks, here we are on Wednesday, July 10th. We're going to take a look at SoundHound today. So SoundHound got some good news today, as you can see here. And the market is reacting to it quite nicely, up over 20% at the moment. We're a little less than a half an hour before close, and these are the levels that we've had on the chart since we first did a chart analysis of SoundHound, with this big run up and then the pullback. And so these levels are holding up quite nicely, as you can see, so I'm taking a lot of comfort in that. But this 379 level that you see, right, it briefly dipped below it and then quickly regained it, attempted that say $5 level, like $4.99, and even to push toward that 622, but sort of let that go. But what it did was it came down and put it in a nice curl just over that 379 where it had recovered previously. And so really nice action, really nice motion on this leading up to the catalyst and the good news that is now pushing it through today. Now if we zoom in just intraday, we see how these levels are coming into play, right? This is the level we have on the chart, 498, 499, 499, whatever you want to call it. That approach to $5 is the psychological way to put it. And so it came in and just zipped right up to that, and then is sort of struggling with that at the moment. And I say struggling with it doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Oftentimes these stocks will wrestle with a particular level, and then they'll sort of zip off of it. Now, does it zip off to the upside or the downside? That's always the question, right? But right now, if we were to just plop, finish the market for the day, it would appear as though came through, wrestled its way through, and came down and reconfirmed the bottom if it's able to do a little bit of a push off. Now, it is dipping a little bit below it at the moment, so we'll see how it reacts through the rest of the day. If folks come in and take profit and sort of sell it off, I'd expect it to maybe end around, say, 475 up to about 480. Wouldn't surprise me. Maybe even up toward this 490 level. I know I'm just giving a bunch of options now, but those ones stand out to me as sort of like particular to this day trading levels. So we'll see how that finishes. But if we zoom back out again, if it can continue to build, or if it consolidates along this level, the next level up 622. And then 719. So while we have a lot of levels on the chart, they are quite spread out, especially percentage-wise, right? These are huge percentage changes from level to level. And so there's going to be some stuff that develops intraday or multi-day, but overall, these levels have held up really well. I feel pretty good about them. And until something breaks down or breaks through, these are the levels that I think will sort of hold true for the near term. Now, if we pull in the EMAs and see what today's action did to the EMAs, also of interest, that 183 EMA, right? It bounced straight off of it here, and then it consolidated right along it down here. And that 8 EMA, that white line, bounced right off of it, and now today it's trying to put in price action above all of them, the 183, the 34, the 21, and the 8. Now, if it can continue to even just hold up there, or even hold, around, this also might be sort of a strongish level, around 467, 468. If it can even do that, it would continue to pull these EMAs up slowly but surely, and we'll just have a series of bullish crossovers. So potential there for, additional oomph and bullish strength if that continues. But of course, time will tell. We have to wait and see if it actually plays out that way. Now, in the think or swim side of things, what today's action does is a few things. Let's start from the bottom up. On the oscillator, it switches it from being clearly with the sellers, the bears, in control, flips it quite effectively, quite quickly, to the bulls being in control. Now, we have seen this before. Look right here. Now, this came from a compression period, and then we had a brief buying period and then a further compression period that led to a selling period. Now, you know, that was brief and was a blip and didn't really amount to much of anything sort of longer term. You know, if the market continues to digest today's news, you know, being that it's a news catalyst that has then sort of chart implications, if you will, if that continues to persist, you know, that could be maybe a little bit more compelling than literally just chart formations and motion off of levels in and of itself. So there's that. We had this lengthy trigger and fire, you know, a little dip from the mid-range down, testing the lower bound of the channel, but that held today, pushing back through there. So we'll see if it does come down and retest the mid-range of the channel. Right now that's situated at 429. So, you know, a decent percentage away, but nothing like relative to a stock that is as volatile or can be as volatile as SoundHound. You know, it's not crazy. It's within still the dollar range. And so we'll see if that comes into play or not. But that's where we are as far as it pertains to those things. Now, briefly stretched out of the upper bound of the channel. Right now it's trying to draw itself back in, but as you see, it's sort of inching back up away from it. We can see it sort of motion by motion. If we go maybe to the 3-minute here, right, that's where it's wrestling with that level, like we spoke about. So we're getting about 20 minutes away from close as I'm making the video right now. So that's where we are. It's going to be able to creep itself out of the channel. Is it going to get drawn back in as the market close, you know, draws near? Or what does that look like? Now, if we briefly take a look at the ATR levels, I'm going to go a little bit longer term here. I'm going to go the swing levels. Actually, I'm wondering if I want swing or multi-day. Let me see. No, swing is good. So these are the levels for the month of July, the ones we're looking at right here. Right, so right now we're situated above. I would expect us to finish the day above the call trigger, which is at 453. If it runs a full +1 ATR by the end of the month, that would give it a run up to 639. That's this level up here. Right, there's a stop along the way at about 547 or so. These things are dynamic, so they do shift as price action gets put in, so just keep that in mind. And then as we would get into August, you know, that call trigger would creep up to like mid-5s, just above mid-5s, but would stretch all the way up to about 740. So it's going to depend how persistent it is. If it's able to hold this, if, you know, maybe it comes down and reconfirms the call trigger level. That's oftentimes an option, but you know, we'll see how that plays out and just sort of, I guess, take it from there, if you will. But some strong buying pressure still coming in. This is the 3-minute chart that we're looking at right now, and we are, like I said, less than 20 minutes from close, and some big buying pressure coming in still, some big candles right around that critical level of 498, 499. Like I said, psychologically, it's just that approach to $5 level. So pretty interesting motion, pretty interesting catalyst for today. So we'll see how that continues to play out. But leave me a comment if you'd be interested in checking back in on this as time goes on. Be happy to do so. All right, folks, I hope that you have had a happy hump day. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.